Hi guys, Dark Aperture here, and I'm catching on another computer part launch with a build to go with it. As you can see, it's the GTX 760. Now I made a slightly above $1,000 build video for this. So here it is. I included the OS this time just because I can. And people might want to get into PC gaming with this rig, so go ahead. Now first off, for the processor, I went with an AMD FX 6350. Sure, games don't use 8 or 6 cores yet, but keep in mind there's the next-gen consoles. Games are going to be more optimized for 8 cores when the next-gen consoles come out, as the next-gen consoles have 8-core CPUs. Another good thing about this FX 6350 is that it's overclockable. It also has a 95-watt TDP. And since AMD isn't dropping AM3 Plus yet, you'll be able to upgrade to an FX 6500 processor when it comes out, with a BIOS update, of course. It's also, besides from that, it's also a pretty low price for a very fast 6-core CPU. And the 6350 is the same price as 6300, just overclocked though, so it'll save you some time. All for $140. Now for the CPU cooler, I'm going for budget standard, the Cooler Master Hyper 212 Evo. It's not going to blow away a Corsair H100i, but it doesn't have to. It's a $35 cooler, and it should allow you to get a little more out of your FX 6350. It's not going to help make you break 5 gigahertz. It's nowhere near as powerful enough to do that, but it is a big aftermarket cooler, but this case and its RAM can handle it, so no big deal. It's also not that noisy. And an overclock estimate I gave for it, since I don't actually have the money to build these systems right now, I'd estimate a 4.3 gigahertz overclock, a sizable improvement from 3.9 of the FX 6350. Correct me if I'm wrong there again. It's a $35 cooler, so pretty awesome price. Now for the RAM, I will have Crucial Ballistix Sport. This is 8 gigs of DDR3 1333. I already covered in my last video that RAM speeds don't matter, and if you watch JG2Cents' video on it, he did a video on it. It's proof that RAM speeds don't matter for gaming. So 8 gigs of DDR3 1333 will do. It's also low profile RAM at a low price for $50. Which is pretty cheap considering the fact that RAM prices are just going far up right now. Now for the motherboard, I went for an ASRock 970 Pro 3. It's not the most amazing board. It's not going to be the most unlimited board in terms of overclocking, but it'll allow that 4.3 overclock, I'm sure. And it's got a lot of features. USB 3, SATA 6, quad channel DDR3, you name it, it has it. It might have SOI crossfire support. I'm not looking too much into it. It's a $75 board, so I'm betting that's not the case. However, it might be a possibility. It does have plenty of PCI slots, so it could fit graphics cards, sound cards, RAID cards. It's got everything. Sure, it may not be the most high quality board, but it's going to last you between now and your next upgrade in the future. What you will have to make, since AM4 will be out in a few years. And it's also off the AMD 970 chipset, which is basically the next best thing to 990FX, all for $75, which is pretty cheap for what it is. Now moving on to the star of the show, I went with the EVGA GTX 760. This is the ACX cooler, which has been getting pretty favorable reviews. It's nice to see EVGA is finally stepping up their game to offer a cooler that can back up their high quality. It's the cheapest one out right now, but that doesn't mean it's cheap. EVGA equals high quality, one way or another. No pun intended. And it's also a pretty big improvement over the 660. In particular, it's 33% faster, and since the 660, a good one would be around $220. It's only around 20% more expensive right now too, so better value right there. Sure, the 7950 you could argue is better value, and I would argue with that, but this is a 760 game PC build, and maybe you don't want to deal with AMD. It's a 2 gig card, and 2 gigs is enough for any 1080p gaming, which is what this card is geared towards. It'll also max Crisis free without problem. The 660 probably I've heard has problems with that, but it's a $260 card, and it's amazing for what it is. Now, for the power supply, I went for Corsair TX650. I was going to go for Corsair CX600 originally, but I figured that I might as well just leave 50 extra watts of headroom so it can overclock a little more. It's got SON crossfire support. It shouldn't be that loud. And a thing you should never do is cheap out on the power supply. If you make that mistake, it's going to save you a few bucks then, but when it fries your graphics card, your motherboard, and possibly your CPU, which is probably the least likely thing it's going to fry, it's going to cost you a lot more, so just play it safe. Don't cheap out on the power supply. It's a $100 power supply, and it's pretty high quality for what it is. A+ certified. A+ bronze in particular. Now for the hard drive, I went for 1TB Seagate Barracuda. I could have just gone for 500 gig Caviar Blue, but this is a $1,000 plus system, so I might as well get 1TB of storage. It's only $20 more, so way better value. 7200 RPM fast, and it's reliable. Now, this drive is pretty great, but if you want a system to feel really fast, then you want to get a Samsung 840 120GB SSD. It's a $100 SSD, 120 gigs of storage, and for Cirrus TLC NAND, you won't want to deal with that, but not a big deal. If you wondered why I'm here, I forgot to put this slide. Pretty embarrassing. Oh well, you're not missing much. And well, anyways, it's a very fast drive, offering very good read and write speeds comparable to a Crucial M500, a new SSD, which breaks the 1TB barrier at an affordable price. Sure, you could just go with the Crucial M500, it does use MLC NAND. But TLC NAND will, again, last you to the next upgrade cycle. You can store your OS and a couple key apps and games on it. Now, optical drive uses 24X. Get the cheapest one if you want. There's a cheaper one, just go with it. Big deal. Now, with the case, I went for Corsair Carbide 200R. Nothing else needs to be said. This is the bang for the buck king. It could fit any graphics card you think of. Unless it's really that long, it might not fit. A card it might not be able to fit, for example, is the 7990. That thing's a 12-inch monster from what I'm hearing. This case has two USB 3 front panel ports as well, and 8 fan mounts, a pretty nice feature. It's only $60 as well. Well, it doesn't look as cool as the Cooler Master Half 912. It's still, I'd say, a slightly better option in my opinion, because it has more fan mounts. Now, the total price of this system. Oh wait, one more thing. 1.8 home premium. Blah blah blah, you already know. Now, for the final price, it's $1,020. Which means, for that price, you're getting a system that's just gonna wreck the PS4 in every way possible. Except for RAM speed, but that's not as big a deal as you think, as I already showed you. This PC has more storage. It's got an SSD. Sure, it doesn't have Blu-ray, but who cares? You can just download anything digital these days. Blu-ray quality movies, digital. Now, for some reason, well, here we go. Without the OS, $920. I've had a huge amount of technical glitches right now, but it doesn't matter. Still, I say it's a pretty well-rounded build. Some people could argue the 6350 is not enough, but I'd say it is enough. So, I don't care what you have to say. The FX 6350 is definitely enough for the GTX 760 mid-range graphics card. Alright, that's it. I'm just rambling now. Subscribe to me, Dark Aperture. It really helps me out. Like this video too. Last time I made a build based on a new parts launch, for the A10 6800K, it got over 1,000 views and 17 likes. So let's see, what should we should aim for? We should aim for 20 likes, okay? If we do that, we'll subscribe to anyone who's posted a comment as well. Okay, goodbye, guys.